Hey everyone, so I'm going to be talking about physical fitness today and specifically how to meet your physical fitness goals. So, in the last video, we talked a little bit about setting goals, setting those long term goals and those short term goals. And now we're going to actually get into the more sort of micro scale how to get physically fit. And there's going to be a few ways that I'm going to be discussing on how to do that. My first piece of advice, if you're trying to get physically fit, is to sign up at a gym. Now, when you're signing up at a new gym, you really want to pay attention to a few different things. Obviously, you want to look at the price in comparison to a lot of the other gyms in your area. You also want to look at their contracts, how they do it. Some places you sign a contract for a specific set of time, might save you money. I prefer gyms where they have like a more loose contract where you can cancel anytime, where there's no like really expensive signing up fees and all those sort of things. So check out the price in comparison to other gyms around, and also look at the contracts that they offer. Cleanliness is also really important. I like a nice clean gym. The environment's also really important. You want to see what kind of people there are in the gym. Ideally, you want a gym that's full of people who are experienced but don't have a big ego. The kind of people that will help you when you're struggling and that want to give you good advice. The environment's really, really important. You don't want a toxic gym environment where everyone might be really strong and really fit, but they're all kind of assholes. And on the other hand, you don't want a lazy gym environment where you kind of have a lot of people who don't really know what they're doing. The equipment and space of a gym are really important. You want to make sure that they have a lot of different equipment that are going to help you meet your physical goals. And of course, you want a good amount of space. You want a place that's not just going to get crowded and you're never going to be able to go on that machine that you want to use. So that's really important. Now, once you find a gym that fits those criteria and sort of meets your own criteria, then you got to get a good workout plan. If you have been working out for a while, obviously, then you kind of understand how it is. But if you're kind of new to the gym, then it's good to sort of look online and find good workout plans. Now, the specific splits that I like to do are to have a push day, a pull day, and a lower body day. So that pull day, it's going to be working on your biceps, your back, and your forearms. It's those pull muscles. So that's going to be workouts like pull-ups, bicep curls, lateral pull downs, those sort of things. And then you get to your push day, obviously that's like chest, tricep, shoulders. That's going to be your bench press, push-ups, tricep pull downs, dips, those sort of things. And then of course lower body, that's going to be working on your legs. So that's like deadlifts, squatting, calf raises, that sort of thing. So it's good to have that nice split. And then you can either do it as you have two 3-day splits in a row. So that's pull, push, lower body, and you repeat that again, and then you have a rest day in the middle. So it's like 6 days on, 1 day off, or you could do 3 days on, 1 day off, 3 days on, 1 day off. And it'll kind of mess with your week because then every other week it's going to be a little bit different, but there's a few different ways that you could do that. But of course, you want to make sure you have that rest day if you're really lifting heavy. You want a good rest day because I have mentioned it before in different videos. When you're working out, you're breaking down your muscles so that they can rebuild stronger. You're making micro tears within your muscles. So it's important that you have a rest day for those muscles to actually regenerate. That's why we work out different muscle groups on different days. And of course, like I said, 1 day of full recovery. You can make that an active recovery day. You can kind of do a workout that is less physically strenuous. You can make that day your cardio day. Go for a hike, go for a swim, do some martial arts, just mix it up. And, you don't have to do nothing that day because a lot of people dislike having a rest day because you kind of feel like, well, what am I doing, right? So you can have an active recovery day, do something fun, go out and do something with your friends, play a sport, right? There's lots of different things you could do. So after you have a good workout plan, you kind of have a good cycle to work on, then you got to research proper form. For me personally, I've always had difficulty specifically with deadlifting form. I kind of have a weirdly shaped back, I guess. So it's always been a little bit weird for me deadlifting. And it took me a long time to get a somewhat proper form. I'd say my deadlifting form's still far from perfect, but you really want to research proper forms for 2 reasons. First of all, you don't want to get injured. If you do a workout improperly, there's a very good chance that you can injure yourself, especially with something like a deadlift. If your back is not positioned the right way, you could easily hurt it very badly. And another reason is that you're maximizing that specific workout. If you do a workout slightly wrong, you could be working on a different muscle group more so than the one that you're originally trying to target. So it's really important that you research your proper form so that you don't get injured and so that you're maximizing the actual workout. So It's kind of something to consider when signing up to a gym. Now, not all of you have the money to afford a gym, or there might not be a gym close by to where you live, or you have some other reason why you can't go to a gym. And that's another thing. When you were looking at a gym, make sure it's close to where you live, because when you come home from work, you do a 9 to 5, or you go to school from 9 to 5, you're tired. You don't want a long drive to the gym. You want it to be close and accessible. For me personally, when I was really into my weightlifting phase, it was when I was at my MOS school for the military, and we had a outdoor workout area. We literally had a big storage locker full of equipment to work out with. We had everything you could possibly need. So it was very convenient because it was like 5 minutes from the barracks we were living in. So if you can't get into the gym and you want to hit home workouts, that's fine too, whether you have no equipment at all or a little bit of equipment. So me personally, recently, I have been doing a lot of home workouts, but I have a decent amount of equipment with me. As you can see behind me, I got the pull up and dip bar, and I could do a lot of core workouts on that as well. And I also have lots of different free weights. I have two 30-pound dumbbells, two 20-pound dumbbells, and two 12-pound dumbbells. And then, of course, for like curls, I like to curl relatively heavy, so I do 30-pound curls. Or I don't know, that might not be heavy to you, but for my size, I think that's relatively heavy. So I have a good amount of equipment with me at home, so I can hit pretty decent home workouts. The things to consider with home workouts is that if you don't have equipment, a lot of what you're going to be doing is going to be body weight workouts. So if you don't have any equipment at all, you're pretty much not really going to be able to hit your pull muscles as well, because a lot of pull muscles require either a pull-up bar or some weights to lift. But you can still hit some really good at-home push workouts and, of course, lower body. So with at-home workouts, if you have no equipment at all and you're just using your body weight, there's some things you can do. There's a lot of different push-up variations that can hit different parts of your push muscles. So for example, just a basic wide arm push-up obviously is going to build the chest. The closer you get inwards, you start to work your shoulders a little bit, and the further down you have it. And then when you go right next to each other with your hands and you can do like a diamond push-up, that's going to work your triceps. So you can hit all the important push muscles at home, which is really good. And it's really easy also to sort of have some makeshift dip bar type situation at home. So if you just have like two chairs next to each other, you can simulate the dip workout, because all a dip is you have your arms on either side and you're pushing up and coming down. So all you need is like two chairs and you can do a dip workout. Or if you have like a kitchen counter, you just put one hand on either side of the corner of the counter, and then you can hit dips. So I say push muscles you can easily hit at home. And obviously I have my reservations towards Andrew Tate, but I looked at his prison workout and it was really good. So, and you saw him, if you watched anything to do with him, he came out of prison jacked as hell. Like, I don't like the guy, but I always give him credit where credit's due. He stayed in shape in prison. He got really, really, really big considering he had no weights to work with, and that's no weights at all. So that's this situation where we're talking about at-home workouts. And of course, in terms of the lower body, it's difficult, I think, to hit lower body without weight to really get big legs, but it's possible. For example, if you do like switch lunges, that gets really hard after you do that a while. So like it's like a lunge, but you're switching back and forth. That's really hard. I would say just air squats on their own isn't really going to get you really strong. But for example, wall sits after hitting legs can really add a lot of intensity to your legs. So a wall sit is you're basically, it's how it sounds. You're sitting on a wall, kind of in a squat position almost, and you're just holding it there, and that just adds a lot of strain. So that's really going to help. You could do one leg squats. You hold on to something and you just squat on one leg while your other leg's kind of perched outwards. But some people say it's bad for your knees. I don't really like them. But there's a lot of lower body workouts you can still do at home. And of course, your core, you can really hit pretty much any real good core workout at home. But if you do have like a long situation where you're going to be working out at home for a long time, I would suggest at the very least getting a pull-up bar. One of these is really good. I got it on sale for like $100. They usually go for a little under $200, but it's a really good investment. I love it because you got a lot of stuff there. You can hit good lower body core workouts. You can hit your dips. You can hit your pull-ups. And I'm going to move it a little bit so you can see. It's got the wide pull-ups as well, so you're really hitting a good back workout when you're hitting those wide pull-ups, working those back muscles versus a little inwards. You might be getting more bicep, or curl up more bicep, right? So there's a lot of stuff you can do still while being at home. Now, a few other things to take into consideration in terms of physical fitness. This is more so if you're at the gym, but I'd say getting an accountability buddy is really important. Or if you're also hitting cardio days, if you're doing at home workouts and you need to go out for runs once in a while. And ideally, you want an accountability buddy that is more experienced than you are. So for example, if you don't know how to do a certain workout or you need help with your workout plan, they can help you. They can help you revise your workout plan. They can show you the proper form. And on top of that, they're keeping you accountable. It really helps going to the gym with a buddy. I was going with one of my friends for a little bit, and it was really good because we both kept each other accountable. We said, gym today, we got to go, right? So that's really important. And I would say he was a little bit more experienced than me in terms of at least weightlifting. I've always been kind of a more like body weight kind of guy. I've never been super big. The biggest I've ever been was like 168 pounds, and that's when I was just lifting weights. I weigh like 150 now. But it was really good to have him keeping me accountable. I kept him accountable, and it's a lot more fun to work out with another person, especially at a gym. It can be a little bit daunting at times to be alone in a gym and not know anyone, so going with a friend can really help. Just to finish this video off, I'll go very briefly into dieting. Personally, dieting hasn't been super important for me, unless you consider like eating more dieting, which I guess it is. So for me personally, I have to eat a lot to gain weight and to gain muscle mass. So for me, it's really important to carb load, of course, get my protein in. And like I said, when I was just lifting weights and I got really big, I was dirty bulking. So I was eating so at the time, like I said, I was at my MOS school for the military. So we had the DFAC or the cafeteria nearby, so I could eat pretty much as much as I want. And it was already coming out of my paycheck. So I'd have burgers every day. I'd get a bunch of ice cream sandwiches. I was dirty bulking. And that will get you to gain a lot of weight fast. And especially with me personally, I have a really high metabolism. So it just looked like muscle was being built onto me. But over the course of like 3 to 4 months, I gained like 20 pounds. But I did feel kind of like shit eating unhealthy every day, so it's not for everyone. I don't necessarily recommend it, especially if you take your time. You can keep a good diet. You can eat good protein, your fishes, good lean meats, carbohydrate wise, brown rice, good breads. Some bread isn't good, like white bread's not good, but like some good wheat breads. There's a lot of different ways you can do it well. I don't really have a lot of advice for losing weight because that's never been something I've had to deal with. It's always different. But in terms of dieting, for losing weight, definitely I would say cut out a lot of the carbs, not completely because you still need carbs. You might be eating more vegetables, which are more slow acting carbohydrates. And of course, eat some good lean meats. But this is just a quick video kind of getting into physical fitness. It's very important, obviously. If you're physically fit, you're going to be more confident. You're going to be happier, both mentally, and you're going to physically feel a lot better as well. So it's really important that we are physically fit, especially nowadays where there's less of a survival necessity to be physically fit. Like nobody worked out 20,000 years ago, 30,000 years ago. They had to be physically fit. They were running constantly. They were hunting. They were picking up food, So they were naturally in shape. But today, most jobs are 9-to-5 office jobs in the developed world. So we have to go out of our way to stay physically fit. And like I always say, with our evolutionary mindset, our evolutionary psychology is geared towards survival. So we still today have not gotten over that. Our brains still think we're living in the Stone Age and survival is not guaranteed. So we have all this extra energy that's put in reserve for survival, and we need to find a way to use that energy. Otherwise we'll be depressed and unhappy, and working out, being physically fit is a great way to do that. So that just about wraps up my video. And yeah, right now, I don't know where I am right now in the world, but I'm somewhere, hopefully. Anyway, this is the Warrior Philosopher, building the foundations of the Warrior Philosophy. See you next time.